Alright, welcome back everyone. Tonight, we discussed the state of our deck, which is undergoing some big changes at the moment. We are saying goodbye to, well, we said it kind of goodbye, we thought about saying goodbye, thought about breaking it with Second Arbor last stream already, and based on last stream and the two leagues I played after that, or just even based on just last stream alone, it never felt like I needed the Second Arbor. And turns out, Underground Mortuary, the Golgari's Surveil land, is so good in our deck that I'm even playing two copies now. And I think it is better in our deck than, off the top of my head, probably any other. The Surveil land, I think, is probably better than any other deck outside of maybe Reanimator. And the reason being is because, and well, the other one, Rhinos, is probably decent as well because it doesn't have turn one play. But the reasoning is because in addition to the high fetch density, we also have Elvish Reclaimer and some number of Green Suns that tutor for it to end of turn if we already have Cradle in play, and it's not really a layer game, so to speak, right? To tutor for the second copy and just like churn through our deck. I think it notably buffs our deck than a lot of these other slower blue decks because they already need their fetches to turn on Brainstorm and Ponder. It's a little bit awkward to just fetch end of turn, so like some of the benefit is offset. Whereas us, it's almost strictly better than getting an Arbor in 99% of the time. In the very limited sample size that I have, and going off the feedback of some other players who tried one and then two copies, they kind of echo the same sentiments. Now, it's funny because I thought, at least initially, this was going to be met with more resistance in terms of, players not happy about cutting a card that had been in the deck since 2013. But, we got to move on with the times, so to speak. And I think it became pretty obvious because after players actually tried it, they kind of agreed that it was an easy cut, like the Second Arbor. And the first one's still nice, I think, because you want, your Green Suns to represent a dork on turn one. But, I haven't really missed the second one at all. Obviously, it can change Cradle Hoof math in some situations, but almost always I found myself that not only do I want the first Mortuary Mire, I want the second Mortuary Mire in lieu of getting the first Arbor. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start this league. If I pause for a second, my wrist is acting up. I went to the doctors yesterday, and based on the evaluation, the doctor let me know that I have tendonitis in my wrist from too much lifting lately, and I would guess it's because I've been carrying my son, the wrong way. Because namely, I only hold my son usually with one hand, and so all the weight is on my wrist, so that's probably why. So don't make the same mistake I do. And unfortunately, I think my left wrist is probably gonna be screwed up pretty soon too because I've been like overcompensating with that hand because the right wrist hurts, and I think it's probably gonna be a matter of time before that left wrist probably acts up. It's already acting a little bit. For a second, I thought I had like carpal tunnel or not, but then I still have feeling in my extremities, and my fingers, so it is not that, fortunately. Luckily, this is something that rest will take care of itself. We're playing against this hybrid Reanimator Show and Tell player. Their list is a little wonky in the sense that they play like some odd numbers, in my opinion. And I'm not. So the thing is, like, if they were Reanimator, I'd lead with Reclaimer, but I think often they have the weird numbers of reanimation spells. and only 4 entomb, so I'm gonna like call their bluff and just like ramp first. That way it forces the reclaimer through too, right? Oh, not to mention, so that was kind of a disaster, but makes me happy that I what's it called it? Wouldn't reclaimer second. One second. Shoot. I think my son might have woken up. Okay, I got it. 1 second. I gotta tend to him. Fortunately, my wife is taking care of it, so I guess we move on, right? So we know the bog is offline. It's only a matter of time before they call their bluff, right? Bin. Yeah, my hand is all jacked up right now, unfortunately. That's a reasonable card, I guess. Here, we don't want to let our opponent know that the shields are down. So I'm just going to play that. Not to mention we could just like hard cast an endurance or something. But our line is likely going to be fetch Cradle, fetch Mortuary, and then pass. Also, another line is if for some reason your opponent boards and surgical against you, it's correct to pitch the bayou because you don't want them to surgical the mortuary with a fetch on the stack. Our opponent probably is going for a show and tell because they know we have a reclaimer. Like, our opponent is familiar with our list and playing against us because I think I played against them a few times. We've had some friendly banter back and forth, and they were patient enough to wait for us as I tended to my baby. But they're familiar with us to know that like the graveyard is probably not safe against them, or going for the graveyard is probably not safe against us. Hey, Ramar, how's it going? I don't even know what this does, to be honest. How do you uncloak? I think you should like pay the mana cost or something, right? Alright, we're gonna play this technically sound. We're gonna fetch the bayou so they can't surgical our mortuary, and then here dig for whatever's relevant. Oh, sure. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Ramon. I'll do that soon enough. I think we want to keep this because it puts us on our opponent on a one turn clock. So I'll put this in the on top. Uh, is there any reason? I don't know why they're playing it, to be honest. We can't tap out. We need to hold up endurance. Mm, well, we can't attack with a reclaimer. Now, if they have C's into combo, then it is what it is, right? That actually might be better for us to incentivize them to do that. Why are they burning that card? No blocks. Uh-oh. Sure, I don't think we care. Sure. I guess that's why they're running it. But we got the kill here. I mean, I don't think they run LED, Josh. This is like a weird reanimator show and tell hodgepodge of cards. Uh, Technically, this is. Alright. We're doing this because then we have all full attackers. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Actually, they could have Stifle. Jesus. Okay. I actually screwed that up. We have lethal, and I like screwed that up because we would have had. Ugh. Okay, that's bad. 9 mana, 10 mana. Now we lost for no reason. We had lethal too, I think. Well, no, we didn't. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we didn't cast that, we would have had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Maybe we're so short. Alright, we're just dead. This random cards that we're losing to. 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I guess we were just short 1. 2, actually. Oh, that's annoying. I think our opponent gets benefits from the fact that they play a lot of one ofs. So it's just like I don't know what I'm supposed to be playing around. Not to mention I don't know how to board. I think I just go. Well, do we even like care? Like, do we dare them to have the counter, the Do we dare them to even have a combo? Like, I can see a scenario we just don't even care about the graveyard because of because of their deck building choices. Shepherd, I don't even think I love, to be honest. In this kind of, even though they have like permission, I feel like we just want to kill them ASAP. Sometimes I really just despise leagues. Like, you play against something that you're never gonna run into. I threw for what it's worth. Like, I'm supposed to activate Shepherd. They stifle it, and then I like get something else. It would have been more mana efficient, right? I can like get a grist or whatever it tick down. Sure. Okay. So when their deck is firing on all cylinders, like what happens is what happened to us, right? Like your opponent doesn't know what to play around. The problem with that is when it's not firing on cylinders, then the deck just looks inconsistent from their stuff, from our perspective. So it depends if you're feeling lucky, I guess, right? The benefit of having a lot of one-ofs is very difficult for our opponents to play around. The downside is then if you draw the wrong one-of, how does your rest of your deck function, right? Or behave in that such a scenario? So it depends if you're okay with it or not. All right, we're gonna seize. Maybe it's a show and tell. They forced for a reason, so gotta imagine that whatever they want to protect is pretty relevant. It's probably a show and tell. Stifle, sure. Okay. Coast is clear, I guess. Excuse me. Time to unlock our mana. Sure. Hey, how's it going? Hope you are having a fine night. No, well, it's kind of a free attack. We'll see if they block or not. I guess not so free now. Kind of brutal, actually. They draw like they're one of Dreadnought, and they have their one of Gardens. That's kind of crazy. I know, right? Like, just these are the type of decks that I am most afraid of because they're like high variance. They some often lose themselves, but if they don't, then like they can get you pretty good. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too harsh, but my personal opinion is these are the type of decks that may not win a tournament but may ruin your day. What the hell just happened? How did I thought that was on top? What the heck is going on? Do they have two dreadnoughts back to back? Okay. What the hell is going on? Okay, whatever. They probably do, but like, man, it's kind of unfortunate. Actually, maybe I'm supposed to bring the snuff out. All right, we're just dead now. Well, maybe not actually. No, right now we're dead. It's pretty demoralizing to lose your first round and know that you can't get the 5-0 off the bat. Um, I probably should have. The problem is like I'm so used to my opponent being on like a show and tell reanimator hybrid, and I don't know like what numbers they're running. Like the deck building is like a lot of one ofs, and I just don't know if they're just gonna get me because I board and snuff out that doesn't do anything. Like I really don't know what their deck does to be honest. But I probably should have. I am not familiar enough with their exact list to know whether what's correct and what's not. We're playing against a local of ours. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Max, but we'll see. They're probably on Reanimator, if I were to guess. So this is a matchup I like look forward to playing against because decent player on the other side, relevant matchup. Like you actually get something useful out of it. Yeah, I know he's a local. I just like have not played Paper Magic in forever with Mario. So, you know, What is the word I'm looking for? That is not what I want to draw. Probably the fiend. Actually, on this board state, probably the noble. No, well, I take that back. Probably the fiend. Yeah, I assume they're very nice. They're usually on Painter, from what I understand. But like, I think I saw something about like them saying Painter's no longer well positioned. I don't know how true or not. All right, we're probably just gonna lose here from getting our Atraxa reanimated. One reason why I don't play the second Gris at the moment is because I don't want our opponent to like luck sack into reanimator our Gris on turn one, and we're probably gonna lose now because of this. Like for the most part, we can handle most of our creatures reanimator, with the exception of Atraxa, and depending on the hand and like what turn it is, maybe Gris. Like Gris is beatable if it's like later on, not on turn one usually, or it's harder. I should say. I only got 4. Still pretty good. I don't know. I was digging for an endurance, but what can you do? This is the. I think we could win in some matches where we get our Gris reanimator, but typically not in Atraxa. So let's see what goes on now. They have force too, which makes it tough. I feel very good about this match as long as I don't get Atraxa reanimated. No, but the problem is they draw 4 already, right? Or 5. What's going on here? Maybe a Bowmasters. I think we need to dig for stuff. That's reasonable, actually. Probably this. And dig for Shepherd here. We don't have it, but we have the Artisan. There's an argument to be made to not play the oof there and just once, and then so we can cast the Artisan. Very unfortunate. We have a Gris, but they have force, so we're probably dead. I mean, I took the wrong line for what it's worth. Like, the oof cut me off from playing the Artisan, and I think Okay, so it didn't really matter. I'm assuming they have force, but we'll see. Ended up not mattering. Yeah. Because even if we sequence correctly there, what happens is then they force the artisan and then they discard the whatever. Okay. Let's board that out so that doesn't happen. Oops, wrong one. Scaminator is probably the number one reason to play our deck at the moment, in my opinion. I think we have a decent matchup against them, but it's more so they kind of like prey on a lot of the decks that we don't really want to see. I don't think we want duress. Sure. I still feel pretty good about this matchup, even though we dropped game one. Um, Probably in a good spot, as long as we don't draw that Traxxas, which happened. Wasteland and that. Interesting. Maybe just take the troll, like, they didn't have no mana. I think their land count is like real low too. Like, do we just like go for the cheese here? Catherine, their hands all blanks. Let's go for the win. They're gonna waste us, and then that's fine. Just reps with double mortuary. They have swords is awkward, for sure. Maybe they Void Walker here. Who knows? That card is like quite annoying against this. That card, I don't think we care. Hmm. I think we are mana efficient here. And just go Meyer. Keep that on top. And just pass. the endurance. No, we put it back. They put it back. They use the swords already, for whatever that's worth. Possible we're not supposed to try to mana screw that. I like always get pigeonhole myself into these lines where I get greedy with that. The swords. Yeah, I in hindsight, I think I need to stop like trying to get these cheese wins. Jeez, okay. And just like take the swords to plowshares. We take 5 there. That's actually not gonna save us, unfortunately. Well, maybe. We'll go to 3. The problem is we don't have enough for hoof. Like we're 1 short. Sure. That card is obnoxious against us. 2. Alright, pretty unfortunate. I need to exercise more discipline and not like I've done this in the past on stream too. I think where I just like tunnel vision into the cheese line instead of just playing the good line. So let's take a quick look. I think the line here is probably Swords to Plowshares. They Bowmaster something we do, but then they fall behind on board. I'm not like super concerned about that. The Brainstorm can put the Catherine back, but then not like they have to pick white or black, right? And I'm just gonna count on this not turning online for a while. So if I were to do it again, I think the correct line is probably um, so if they put Catherine back, I think we can just like ignore for a little bit. It's kind of slow. Um, I think we mulled too, right? Or did we not? No, we did not. So it is probably the Swords to Plowshares, and we just like turn on our deck, or take the Brainstorm, and so they can't like do that. I almost want to just like concede already, like hollow one, just waste time. Now I really want to concede. Some kind of like how do we be a hollow one from here? Maybe we don't. It's a lot of damage. Oops. Shoot, that was a mistake. I kept thinking I could cast the Grist, but then I don't have black mana. That's okay. I'll just have to pass then. Sure. Gotta hit a natural order bottom. Oh, graveyard. We're dead. What do we want here? Like, do we take the gamble to pick the Pick your poison is gonna convert. They have a snuff out too. Uh, that might be better than the tempo on that might be better. Don't think we want Gris or Oof. This is probably okay. It's a little slow. What are we hitting with this? Maybe like it could hit a Vengevine. This is the thing, right? I feel like the snuff out is like gonna be relevant. This feels very slow and stuff. Maybe just the fourth snuff out. What are we cutting? Probably the first forest, actually. Actually, yeah, probably the first forest because we can cut a land in the matchup. Sure. I think the idea is we can go over the top of hollow one. It's a little awkward to draw the mortuary because it doesn't work well with the reclaimer where it just search activations. You want to have it in your deck, not land draw for turn. It's okay with artisan. It's the worst with reclaimer because you really want to hold this up for instant speed. So this doesn't really do anything with an active reclaimer. They could have Bowmasters. This is the type of deck that may have it. I really want to ramp with a Hierarch, but it's a little bit dangerous. It's like shut off or bog. It doesn't matter, so we might as well put it in the graveyard. There's an argument to be made. We don't even need Lair in this deck anymore because of Mortuary. As crazy as that sounds. So they're gonna discard a bunch. How much are they gonna discard? I think we just let it through. All right. I think in this situation we just bog them now. Sorry, not bog. Reclaimer them now. We'll have a good feel whether they have Bowmasters or not. I think. I don't remember. Did we see it? I don't think we saw game one. We had the free black mana, so the artisan was kind of free there. Mm, we take. Firestorm, maybe? What's going on here? Looks like it is. Three. Da, 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 da. So. Sure. I think we want to do it here. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. Oops. Nothing relevant, at least. I think here we play the Reclaimer, and then we're gonna Artisan for. We're gonna Green Sun for Artisan, just like lock up the board. These type of decks typically have a very hard time against us. Yeah. We can beat one Firestorm because the minute they Firestorm, there's nothing left, and if we can have one Artisan, like it's bigger than everything on the other side. And it'll be a 4/4 here. We just like start our chump block days, and they just can't get through, right? Why is this a 3/2? Oh, they put a counter, sure. Do we care? Yeah, this is like way too slow. I think this is fine. I think this is a mole. Doesn't do anything right now. Uh, Keep. Very awkward to draw that snuff out. Alright, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4 Vengevines. I think here it's worth it to just pitch the Green Sun. Sure. Wow, that's an incredible draw. Is there any reason to attack right now? They could discard something scary, so maybe not. Well, they could discard a Root Wallet, I guess, right? But we're gonna kill the Snuff out anyway, so might as well. What's that white creature? Tireless Drive. It's a sack outlet. It's part of the about face combo from before. I think the game is already over for what it's worth. Like once you stave off the initial attack, like they can't really beat a 3/4. All right, the writing's on the wall too for our opponent. I'm gonna use the restroom and be right back. All right. We played one relevant matchup tonight so far, and unfortunately, I haven't played the best. Sure. Putting the brace back on my wrist here. I think we made two bad plays so far. One in a relevant matchup, one not. We didn't play around Stifle when we probably could have. And the other thing, like we had lethal on board, right? They probably stifled that, and then the next thing we do is, if that doesn't go through, then we can grist and tick down, kill one of their creatures. Chump block with the other, and then win the following turn. But again, I don't think that matchup is relevant in terms of the practice, anyways. So I'm not losing sleep over it. I think the big takeaway was really match number 2, in which like I need to like break this habit, trying to like go for the cheese line in terms of taking their what is it called? Their creatures, because they still have 2 draw steps and they had a wasteland there. So I gotta be more disciplined and not do that. Probably take the swords there, open the avenue for the reclaimer, and then go from there. So it could be a relevant matchup for Thoughtseize. Maybe not. But maybe the mono black deck. The scam, the Scaminator decks typically don't have Thoughtseize. Hmm. Looks like some kind of reanimator deck, maybe. I actually don't think that's even that great against us. Like, they lost 3 cards, we lost 3 cards. Or 2 cards, and then they have a threat, I guess. What to do here? I feel like we get a reclaimer here. The other thing is like a shepherd's not gonna matter, so I actually value the bin more right now. The Misty. Like I can already tell this is not a shepherd matchup, so there's no reason to play it out. That's like pretty good, but I kind of want to hit a land drop. The issue with this card is it doesn't come online for multiple turns. Let's just like bin it. Okay, sure. We don't beat a grief by itself. We deserve to lose. All right. What to do here now? We can play the storm, put 3/3s into play. Is that even worth it? We definitely do this first. I guess we can bin our like just put it into play, get power on board, and then yeah, let's do that. And then we can make big layers now. This and I also I did it kind of quickly, but if I was careless, I would not tap the Hierarch, which is relevant because they're typically a Bowmaster's deck. Like our Cradle is now supercharged because of that line. And which is super relevant because we want to bash for Shepherd the following turn, right? No. Um, so Teleria Midwest. The reason why is I don't want to tap out against an obvious Reanimator type deck. I don't. The one extra body is not worth like who knows an Atraxa being a hitting play or whatnot. But good question. So they have an Exhume, which leads me to believe they're like a dedicated Reanimator deck. So I like Duress a lot better here. If they were more like the hybrid builds, I don't really like Duress because against the hybrid builds you can lose to Voidwalker the way we did. And then I think this is slow against them. No Shepherd. No Oof. No Natural Order. Do we want Caracas here? I don't even like love Caracas against these kind of decks. So it's Huff or Swarm, and my inclination is Hoof might be better just to go over the top. Well, the thing is, like, can they beat this? And I'm not sure the answer is yes. The problem is, like, a lot of times it might, like, target. I don't know how many targets they're going to have. Let's just leave the Hoof in. It's a green for Endurance Pitch. That's a mole. So I'm playing a few games here. Like, it makes me wonder, like, do we even need this anymore? That's as crazy as that sounds. That's reasonable. Keep put the bog back. Because with Mortuary being on the deck, it's just like I'm most of the time gonna go for that. But the problem is, like, I need to close out some games too. There are games where, like, you need to, like, or you have a fetch land available, but maybe you don't play around that, and then you get the Hydra. Definitely the Entomb, Unmasked, Unmasked. Um, I think we take the second reanimation spell here. Well, let's see. Taking a mask does nothing. If we take the Entomb, they have to, like, unmask themselves. If they want to unmask us, they pitch a Gristlebrand, but then we have the Reclaimer. Yeah, let's just have them walk into it, right? So if I'm playing from my opponent's perspective, okay, so they're just gonna walk into it, I guess. It's easy mode for us. It's probably game. Maybe they have no choice, but it's, like, very fishy, right? Like, your opponent leaves you the combo pieces. Probably means they have something. I think we just slam Reclaimer here, and the game's already wrapped. We can even, like, F6 here. So an interesting thing about this is, like, we're gonna really know if we need the lair here, and I'm leaning towards no. Because it's gonna be 4 Reclaimer activations deep, or fetches deep. Sorry, not 4, 3 deep before I actually hit lair, because I prioritize the card draw over the lair. And even then, like, you can get an arbor, right? Um, yeah, here, prioritize the card draw. Bin. Get the arbor anyway. 2. Do they attack here? So that would be the big takeaway from tonight's stream. Maybe we just don't even need lair anymore. Do we want that? Like, it spends a lot of mana. Probably not. Here. I don't think I want to do it now. We kept the hoof in, so that's pretty relevant. I think here. I'm gonna get the Gris. Don't tell me they agent me right now. That would be sad times. Okay, we have a soft lock. Like, we never needed lair here, right? Like, we're just gonna build towards a fiend kill or something. Yeah, it doesn't look good for this card. Trimming core pieces left and right now, right? That had been on my mind. It's just like, how often are we gonna do that instead of mortuary? And lair is like, while serviceable, not the best card to draw early. Sure. It's possible this is a mole with the second ones, but we're gonna pretend like we don't know what our opponent's on. That's a bad draw. We're probably losing game one for what it's worth. Argument to be made. We're supposed to like mulligan that hand anyways, but I figure if you don't know what your opponent's on, an endurance is like reasonable. What to do now? I think it's artisan into this. Our mana is like not great, but I don't think we have any, like better lines at the moment. Bin. That's a virtual draw one, right? Like I said, we're a big dog game one because we have so many dead cards. These type of decks are struggling, I think, against the white removal, like the beanstalk decks, but line up fairly well against us game one. We are just dead. If we had a faster hand, maybe, but way too slow here. Like then we can make the chump blocks with the swarm, but our hand here is too slow. One possible thing we potentially could have done was actually it's still not enough. The most mana we can make is 2, 3, 4 mana. Yeah, we need 5 mana for tutor for swarm. All right. We saw that they had at least one reclaimer. We also saw. I wonder how many reclaimers they have. I actually don't like endurance in this matchup. Like, I think getting a chump block is pretty useless. I think Seize comes in because we don't have anything else. Grisp seems way too slow. No collector either. I think this is probably reasonable. And obviously no duress for the same reasons. It can't take Hex Mage, it can't take Reclaimer. Snuff Out's like high variance, I feel, but if you look at our options, they're not really that much better. Maybe the duress is better than the Snuff Out, but if you connect with the Snuff Out, you're pretty ahead. We'll take the high variance, I think. It's a little bit slow. It can get Caracas on turn 2. I mean, maybe you just keep it off of that. Yeah, for fun. Hey, Link Study. So I built this like, I mean, obviously, Modern Horizons 3 needs to come out too for like me to know the full set. May look very different, but at least with the printing of preset Titanium Modern, it's like I have a fun list of nothing else to try. Interesting. I did not expect that. Sure. So here's where it gets interesting. I was gonna say if we get Artisan or not to unlock. Hey Hannah, how's it going? Thank you. To unlock our hand, we definitely play that. I think we don't play the Artisan just yet, and I think we just the thing is like we're gonna tap out for Swarm next turn, and then the Artisan doesn't matter. Now, yeah, let's. I think our line is like priced into that. Yeah, and the reason why I normally will get Cradle, but the problem is like we're kind of locked into this line anyways already with Swarm next turn, so might as well. What's going on here? Sure. The Snuff Out looks awful now, but that's okay. There. Okay, so the Saga is gonna trigger here. Presumably to lock out our Artisan, and then we'll just get the Swarm, I guess, afterwards. Oh, interesting. I did not think they were gonna do that play. That's kind of cool. That's a pretty sweet play, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna get got, unfortunately, if they have opposition agent here. Unfortunately. Good thing we still have that anyways. Let's see if they block. Once Upon a Time is a broken card. F6. I ramped with Once Upon a Time. How crazy is that? So they have to have exactly Plague Engineer here. I think it is very good, and it actually works within the context of the deck too. In addition to being a hate bear. Okay, let's see what they do here. Merit Lage, okay. Okay. Oh wow, okay. We have an answer for that, luckily. We will seize their thoughts first. Doesn't matter. And then we will attack with all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whichever one they block, we're gonna snuff out. Snuff out dead most of the game and then randomly relevant. That's really funny how that works. Like pretty much dead the whole game. I don't even know how many reclaimers they have. It doesn't seem like many, right? Like maybe one, and then suddenly irrelevant, right? Really funny. I think we can board out the snuff outs. They felt bad there. What do we want here? Maybe the duress. Actually, they boarded in Bale Summer, so that's a little awkward too, right? Uh, I wonder if this is gonna have text randomly in this matchup. I think we keep the Gris in. Now that we saw Agent, who knows what else they could have. The first Endurance, probably not, but like, there's nothing better, I feel. It also depends if we put our opponent on ever main phasing. Like people, maybe they scout our list. I don't know. Like maybe they know we don't have a Seiju, and then they like never main phase Merit Lage. The first snuff out was like really funny though, so maybe that. Oh, okay. Good luck, Hannah. This hand is quite interesting. I feel like if they have a saga, our hand looks like so much worse. I don't know like if they do or not, but or how many sagas they have. It could just this hand could just like win straight up win the game too for what it's worth. I think it's just too many like I think too many dead cards. I think this is like way better. All right, good luck, Hannah. Feels like they're holding up Bale. Um, are these cards I want to draw? Maybe the natural order. I don't know about the C's. I think if nothing else, like we make our reclaimer bigger. If they randomly dark ritual here, like I'm not playing around that. Not out of that deck at least. It's probably oh they don't they're not playing the mortuary then. Looks like a dismember. Okay, fatal push. I don't put this deck to be on like Wasteland for what it's worth. I don't know if they have it or not, but I usually don't think they do. So they do have it. They put one card on top. That's kind of scary. Might be removal and trying to cut us off mana. Yeah, that's what it looks like. The funny thing is that Orberg turns on our artisans. Um, actually, hold on. How relevant is it? I think I'm holding the second Cradle here. Like, in case I need it for some reason. What did they get? Yavamaya? Really feels like they have Agent. Yeah, I mean, they were holding. It felt like they were holding a Veil all game, so something to keep in mind. Did an Agent here. Maybe we're just on the aggro plan. Like, if they don't show anything we need to respect. All right, 0-2 into 3-2. That's the second time in a row we've done that. I apologize earlier if I was, harsh on myself for not playing correctly in match two, but we did recover here and got the 3-2. Like, I think we misplayed both matches here. One was relevant and we care about, the other one less so. The stifle thing is just like, if I pause for a second, maybe I think about that, but like, again, this is not really common. If I stop for myself there and count like that we had lethal, we go ahead and do that instead of activate for not 8, right? Like, we save 3 mana, and then we can get a grist otherwise. So that one is like, we slow down, it's not a big deal. Here, this is just a bad habit of mine where I think, hopefully I learned my lesson, just don't go for the wrong play or the unsafe play in that case, and then maybe that game two turns out better than happened here. We won. Like, the Caracas was pretty nice, right? It meant that we got to keep Reclaimer hands instead of having a mulligan aggressively. So at least for now, I don't mind this last slot. Which I actually think this is the weakest card in the deck. Entering the stream, I think post stream, I'm starting to lean towards the lair now. And I think we don't really need it. As crazy as that sounds. So maybe, going back here, league details, we beat, like a madness type deck. I don't remember what they were on. Some kind of scam, if I remember. Jun scam, I think. Oh no, they were on Reanimator. Okay, so that's what it was. And then they were on the like Reanimator with these. I'm assuming green is for the Winter Bloom Apprentice sideboard pivot. And then our opponent was on green white depths here, so not bad. I'll go ahead and raid Tony. I'm done for tonight. Actually, before I raid Tony, I think going forward we don't even need this. And where's we have an extra fetch here somewhere here. I think that's probably the new list. It doesn't feel like we really need it, to be honest. Maybe that's blasphemy, but hard to say. I think we're cutting Lair of the Hydra. I don't think we need it. Based on the games today and just the games lately, right? Like, we haven't really tutored for it, if that makes sense. And if we're not tutoring for a certain card, and we don't need to turn 0, I'm not sure we should be playing it. I think the rest is like pretty self-explanatory. What else? What did we play around? Okay, Reanimator. Like, there's an argument to be made, like, every turn we're supposed to put more pressure on Reclaimer. The problem is, like, now with 2 Myers in the deck, sorry, not Myers, Underground Mortuary, it's actually a while before we get Lair, and I'm just not sure we're playing towards that kind of late game anymore, but time will tell, right? Well, if I miss Lair, I'll add it back, but I think that's the cut for tonight. I think that is it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Here are my socials. And then I'm going to raid Tony. And hopefully you have a fun time there. Happy Saturday. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I think this is the new list now.